So a bunch of pages for the FNaF Character Encyclopedia got leaked. It's been really bugging me, so I don't want to really brush it aside, and I have covered it in a few posts on my channel, but this is a bit beyond the community tab at this point. I would call it a cluster truck, but the proper uncensored version is now banned on YouTube borderline. I mean, I could say it, but I'm not going to risk it. So you're just going to have to say the uncensored word yourself. Thank you. I swear, some of these entries make me wonder if this is the greatest hoax ever pulled in the FNaF community. I mean, most of the entries are pretty standard affairs, with some funny gags here and there, like Toy Freddy claiming to wiggle his ears. But then there's weirder things. The one that bugged me personally is that Mangle is only referred to as male, which pretty much confirms that Scott didn't write a lot of these entries. I mean, Mangle is a major character, they appear a lot, and they're one of the most iconic characters. And the whole Mangle's gender gag has been around since 2 onwards. So, would Scott, if he were writing this, mess that up? I don't think so. And if an iconic character with a 2-page spread could be messed up, who is to say other things could be messed up about whoever wrote this? It's worth noting that in the Ultimate Guide, Mangle's character bio actually is correct with the whole gender switching gag. Also, apparently Bon Bon was in FNaF 3? Like, the hand puppet? Does it mean this little guy? Other oddities include William being listed in FNaF 1, which I guess could be him being convicted, as mentioned in the newspaper articles on the walls, but I don't know, it just feels like someone saw, oh, William's in every game, I'll just write that in the bio. Something frustrating is that almost every character that appears in Silver Eyes has their game counterpart, if they have one, kind of merged into one character bio, the most egregious example being Charlie. Charlie's character bio only has her graphic novel art. In mind, Elizabeth gets completely original art, even though she does appear in the graphic novels. Charlie has only her adult novel counterpart in the entry, but the entire entry, minus one sentence, is about her in the games. Imagine you're a new theorist trying to learn more about the franchise and picking this book up to be like, oh, let me get a gist of all the characters. And you have to figure out how this girl is this little girl in FNaF Pizzeria Simulator. Something that kind of bugged me is, even though I made fun of Elizabeth for being entitled a few times, I wouldn't say she brings a new meaning to the phrase spoiled child. I mean, she's like 6 or 8, give her some slack. The art's pretty cute though, and I kind of wish Charlie got some though. Really love to know her canon design a bit more. But all of that pales in comparison to what we're about to get into. Let's start with the stuff that's just kind of sketchy, but might be correct. It might deconfirm things, it might confirm things. I don't know. Firstly, Vanessa is listed as Vanessa/Vanny, and they're treated as the same character. If this book is confirmed to be 100% correct, that deconfirms that theory. We also got a bunch of characters who are specifically labeled as human. Elizabeth, Gregory, Henry, the Crying Child, and William are all specified as human. Though William, it does mention that it's human at first. Charlie is also listed as human, but since the entire entry is written as if it's talking about Game Charlie, and only the last sentence acknowledges Novel Charlie, I think it's safe to say it's referring to this character, not this character. But as much as I would like to say this book is 100% reliable, I can't say it. I can't use this to debunk or bunk my theories or other theories. It would feel like lying or manipulating, because we're about to get into the really messy stuff. So, this bugged me. Michael, in what's been leaked so far, including the table of contents where he's not listed, is completely absent in this book. He is referenced a few times from what entries we have, but he seems to be nearly non-existent in this book. And it's not like they want to save the reveal of his design or anything. A, he's dead with a question mark, and B, we know what he looks like, sort of, kind of. But trust me, the Crying Child is where the Fazgoo really hits the fan. The bite victim never appears in a ghost form, despite him being drawn like that. We could argue he's one of the ghost kids in FNaF 3, but the issue is in his character appearance list, he is not listed as being in 3. So this would mean he appears as a ghost off-screen at some point. Keep in mind, any cameo in any context counts as an appearance for this character. So Toy Freddy being in the scrap bin means he was in FNaF 3. Shadow Bonnie being one of the cutouts in the Grim Foxy Maze counts. So him not being in FNaF 3 at all implies he is not any of the spirits in FNaF 3. There's also a very small thing where the drawing of Psychic Friend Fredbear doesn't really look like the one that we see in Sister Location, but that's just nitpicking. The real trouble comes from the first 2 lines in his entry. The Crying Child is the main character of Five Nights at Freddy's 4. He's terrified by the nightmare animatronics in his room. What was this about then? The issues with this go way further than just, oh, this confirms a theory people don't want to hear. The issue is, what was the whole 1983 thing about then? Because you don't write the current year when you're spying on someone. In this context, William would have picked this year because it's an important year to him, which would mean he's not spying on the Crying Child because the Crying Child dies in 1983. He would be spying on Michael because of what he did in 1983. That's why this room code would exist. And I did an entire video about why Michael's probably the kid running away in Midnight Motorist. I did 2 videos, in fact. And that directly follows where his new room would have no windows he could run out of and no doors he could lock, which is what we see in FNaF 4. And Michael, as I just showed, draws Nightmare Fredbear. What was that about? The book itself contradicts this. Early on, it cites that the bedroom is where some kid experiences memories from Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. But it goes into pretty good detail that the crying child's trauma lies in Fredbear's Family Diner, as well as him dying in Fredbear's Family Diner. Which means he wouldn't have bad memories from Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. He likes the characters and only seems to be afraid of the Springlock suits. So what the hell? Is FNaF 4's nightmare animatronics experienced by the crying child or not? Not to mention, a book that doesn't mess up on the whole mangle gender thing, The Ultimate Guide, specifically implies that Michael is the older brother. In fact, it says it's borderline confirmed. So this is not implying Mike victim, because the other guidebooks from the similar caliber, if not better, don't get this wrong. My point is, I heavily doubt a lot of this book. Even though we get some cool art that we can now use officially as new renders for a lot of these characters, a lot of stuff really bugs me. Not all of this can add up. Trust me, I would love to take the free win on Vanny and Vanessa and debunking Gregbot and all that, but it's not worth it to say this book is just reliable if we are going to ignore other big clues and events in the series. So much stuff becomes irrational and nonsensical. Anyway, these were just my thoughts on the matter. I want to get this out of the way quick.
Alright, so 11th hour editor squawks here. And I kind of want to make a bit of a clarification on something in this video. When I say this book sucks, I don't mean this is just a terrible book with no redeeming qualities. I mean as an introduction to these characters in this franchise, which is what the point of this book kind of is. The point is to give you a reference to all of these characters, to let you know who each of them are. In that regard, this book is not good at that. Is this whole thing of the ghost kid a good representation of the crying child? My answer is not really. Is this whole, just... Hell, I don't agree with Gregbot, but I think this whole blunt debunking of 2 big theories via a weird guidebook is odd and out of character for this franchise when it plays so safe with its theory debunks and confirmations. I don't trust this book for that reason. I think if this is a correct or officially meant to introduce new people to it, this is an extremely ham-fisted and blunt way to do everything. I can't get over certain weird things that bug me. I think this is the one that really set me over, to be honest. Using Novel Charlie as the imagery for Game Charlie's entry and then giving her this little blurb at the end, I can't get over that. To me, that is imagine trying to pick up the Marvel Encyclopedia and it's only imagery of Black Suit Spider-Man and it's 1 sentence at the end for Spider-Man's main entry, and then not give Black Suit its own entry. That's the other thing. It's like making a Marvel Encyclopedia but skipping out every Iron Man character but including all their villain. That's what not having Michael in it is like. That is why this book sucks, because if you're trying to learn this character and franchise, you're missing your main character. You're giving weird information about characters that do exist. Charlie appears in... I guess he had the puppet mask there. I didn't even notice that until now. But oh boy, if you're looking for Charlie in the Citrace Thingers, that's going to be pretty awkward when her only reference is a damn puppet mask. Also, Charlie is talking about her human design, but she's given all of her puppet appearances. But Elizabeth's only given her human appearances as herself in Sister Location. That's the only time she's in her thing. She's referenced in Pizzeria Simulator and Sister Location. But Baby appears on a lot more than that, so it's only counting Elizabeth. So the one in Help Wanted, the one in UCN, it's not counting Baby. It's only counting when the name and her design is on screen. But Charlie gets any mention of the puppet even though it's her entry. Do you see the problem here? This is such a wacky, inconsistent way to introduce things. I didn't even think of that flaw. I just saw that on the spot. And it's all just... It just doesn't add up. I do have my whole section about the crying child, but as a whole, this book bugs me. It just doesn't all work well. Anyway, I just wanted to throw this in because I didn't explain my thoughts on the matter that well, so Eh.
Bye.